Welcome to SkySchool. This film is designed to introduce you to us effectively and how we run the school and give you some key safety points to focus upon. SkySchool's been running courses since 2002, and in that time we've had more than 1,500 students come through the school. We've developed some very clear and concise systems in order to keep you safe. This film is designed to give you an understanding of the do's and the don'ts in order to maintain safety at all times. So when you arrive on site, it's very important that you park your vehicles in the correct location, so it's not going to impede with any flying activity. And as you can see, here we have them all clearly parked up in a defined location. And if you have any questions as to where that is, ask a SkySchool team member. So a key thing to remember is when you're arriving, you're actually arriving on an active airfield. Even though we may not have lots of planes flying around, which is a possibility in some of our sites, paramotors could be taking off or landing. So be very careful and very aware of what's going on as you drive up. Always make sure your dogs are on a lead so they can't run into any paramotors, yeah? And they're out of the way and safe, yeah? Preferably with some water. Very important. Every training area you use is going to have a central point where we store the kit or where we actually meet to discuss what we're going to be doing that day. And that'll also be where we store our first aid kit, and that will be made aware to you by the SkySchool team. In the unlikely event of there being an incident, there'll also be an evacuation muster point, and that will be specified by your SkySchool instructors as well. When you first arrive on site, you're going to be introduced to a lot of equipment, obviously quite exciting, quite new. However, these paramotors are inherently dangerous. So don't touch anything unless you're specifically asked to do so, having been given the right instruction as to how to use the equipment. And just like a horse, I suggest you don't approach the paramotor from the back, always approach it from the front, okay? As with everything, there are some key rules to adhere to. The CFI, the Chief Flying Instructor's word, is in effect final. It's down to their decision as to whether you fly, having ticked off the necessary criteria in your training syllabus. However, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Also, if you have any issues or any problems or any issues at all, ask a member of the SkySchool team. There are some obvious things which we need to adhere to. There's a 10-hour bottle to throttle rule. So if you're flying at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, you need to stop drinking by 10 o'clock. That we cannot escape. It's very important that you adhere to that 10-hour bottle to throttle rule. Same goes with any performance enhancing or inhibiting drugs. They are not tolerated. We have a zero tolerance policy. If, however, you're on medication and you think that that could be a hindrance, please do let a member of the SkySchool team know. The same goes with any injury or medical disability that you could be suffering from. The reason this is important is so that we are fully aware of any potential risk to you, the student. As this is powered paragliding, we have petrol and oil and other petrochemicals on site. They are stored separately away from the paramotors and away from the wings. However, it's very important that we have absolutely zero smoking around the designated training area. If you wish to smoke, ask a member of the team where you can do that safely. It's important that we have the right clothing and suitable footwear during our training. Ankle supporting boots are recommended, and when it comes to flying, we do recommend that you have a jacket and some trousers on. However, if you're ground handling, a nice lightweight t-shirt and a pair of shorts in a sunny environment like Italy is also acceptable. Other simple things, you've got to stay hydrated. So drink lots of water and make sure you always have some on you. Sun cream. We sometimes train quite late into the middle of the day. You're going to get sunburnt if you're not used to that. Food. You need to stay energized. This can be a physically demanding sport, especially at the beginning of your course. So make sure you keep yourself energized. So a paramotor is, by its very essence, a foot-launched microlight. And that means it comes with a certain amount of risk in terms of your trips and your slips. There's also weight involved, okay? So it's very important that you put your paramotor on correctly, yeah, so that you don't do any injury to yourself. Yet again, your instructors will guide you through that. So be careful where you're running, where you're putting your feet, okay? And ankle supporting boots is a good way to mitigate against having any twisted ankles. Paramotor is very noisy. That's why we use headsets during all flying, not only to listen to the instructor's communications, but also so that it blocks out that noise. If you have any issues with your hearing, please let a member of the team know. Obviously, most of our training takes place outside, and in the UK especially, we have problems with Lyme's disease, so be aware of that. Make sure you do a tick check, okay, and it could well be the case in other European countries as well. Paramotors, in their very essence, are incredibly dangerous beasts because of their spinning propeller. We have a policy, very strictly enforced, that we never start the paramotor on the ground, always on the student's back. And that is only when you've either been given the necessary instruction to do so or assisted by an instructor. If we look after our equipment looks after us. And one of the most vitally important parts for our equipment is obviously our wings. That's what's keeping us in the air. When we're not using it, don't just leave it on the ground in the sun, because the UV destroys this material. When you're finished, take it into a shadowy area, put it on the ground, find a bit of the top surface of the wing and pull it through while putting your hang points through each other like this. So when I come back, it's easy for me to access. Now it's not going to get degraded. At the end of training, you're going to pack these away properly as per your instructor's commands. I hope that this initial safety briefing has been informative. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more information you're going to be given as you progress through the course. However, safety is obviously our #1 concern at SkySchool. So I hope you have a very enjoyable course and really enjoy learning how to paramotor with us. If at any stage you have any questions or issues, please, please, please ask a member of the team. And just to ensure that all of this has gone home, there are going to be a few questions at the end of this film.